Hello everyone, my name is Ilan. I am 27 years old and I love reading classic literature a lot. In this video, I wanted to tell you how I first came upon classics. My story begins when I was in my first year of high school. I always loved reading stories, but that year I read my first original classic English literature book. It was A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I say original because fate would have it that 2 years before that, I had come across a translated smaller edition of the same book. I don't quite remember if I had finished that one or not. But when I got the original copy, I somehow had the feeling of familiarity with it that made me want to read and know the whole story. For me, who lives in a non-English speaking country, getting hold of English books back then was a challenge. We used to have one English class at school, and I would sometimes read the school books or the dictionary because I didn't have anything else written in English in the house. Of course, the internet was not as it is today, so I couldn't order books online either. And the bookstores in my town didn't have many English novels to sell. So I was thrilled when one day my dad brought me a collection of about 6 classic books from my grandpa's house, which were being kept in the basement. And they got them out before demolishing the building. So out of these 6 books, like I said, I was most interested in reading A Tale of Two Cities, and I'm so glad I did, because it was my gateway to the beautiful, amazing, and wonderful world of classic literature, especially the Victorian era. So, A Tale of Two Cities. What a book. I genuinely really love this book. Dickens wrote this tale of Paris and London during the French Revolution so well that I believe it has the most beautiful first and last page of any English book I've read. The events and history behind the story were unfamiliar to me, and with my English back then, I had trouble understanding the whole meaning of the book. Probably I won't understand it even now. It is, as with other Dickens books, very complicated and has difficult language used in it. But this version has some beautiful illustrations in it that helped a little with understanding and imagining the story. I love this book so much that I have read many Dickens's novels and stories and loved them all. He is now my favorite author. The second classic book that I read from that collection was Withering Heights by Emily Bronte. This copy is also old and is stained with God knows what from long ago, but these things make me treasure these books even more, for where can you get old stained books from nowadays? This book is powerful, and to the 15-year-old me, it had a big impact on how I perceived or read stories thereafter. For in this book, there is embedded in it one of the strongest romantic stories I have ever read, and it is so powerfully written that critics at the time had many disagreements on the bold writing style of the novel. I loved this novel so much I went and read so many other books by the Bronte family, and I am super happy that I did. For there I met Charlotte Bronte, who has become one of my favorite authors of all times. The third book, or play in this case, was Hamlet by William Shakespeare. It's broken and tattered in so many places, I have to be very careful handling it. And I thought, why not use these beautiful vintage-looking brown paper to make journals and some other artworks that my sister especially likes to make. So yeah, I have found another use for the broken book. This is the only play I read by him, excepting a school version of The Merchant of Venice, which I read in the 3rd year of high school and liked very much. This version had the story simplified to more modern English at one side of the page, and the original text was on the other, so that I enjoyed reading it to the most for being able to understand it better. And when I got to my first year of college, I got an old phone that I specifically used to download ebooks from, and I read about 3 other of Dickens's books, and later on I got a laptop and started reading some more classics on that. And I just continued reading classics for a long time, till some recent years I came upon modern literature thanks to my sister, who prefers them to classics. So, in this brief video, I told you about the books that introduced me and made me love English classics, especially Victorian novels. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what made you love classics, and which first classic novel have you read.